Hi everybody, it's Nikki here, and say with me now, it's Bookgammon time. Yes, it is that time of the month where I play my TBR game, Bookgammon, which is based on the board game Backgammon to help me pick my upcoming month's TBR. Today we are going to be playing for August, so let me put it down, because you know she gets noisy. Okay, so in the month of July, oh, I don't know whether it's the hot weather we're having or what, or I don't know, still not fully recovered from May and June. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I'm really far away from you. I only got one book on my July TBR, Bookgammon TBR finished. I did finish another 2 books, but they were audiobooks and were not originally on my TBR. And I did get started 3 of the Bookgammon TBR books. So I got started my bomb book, which was A Game of Thrones. I got started on the Atlas Complex, which is book 3 in the Atlas 6 trilogy, and I did get started on The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. The only book I didn't do, oh, my shoulders. Was this one, which was The Dance Tree by Karen Millward Hargrave. Now, normally this would be a priority pick. If the prompts do come up with this, if the prompts that I get in my August TBR can fit this book, then I will try and get this onto the TBR as a priority pick. But I'm not too fussed if I don't get to it. I'm going to be honest with you. So let's sort out our Starbook and our bomb book tokens. So for my bomb book, I have chosen from my 12 books that will self-destruct this year. I've chosen this one Silver Summer by Rachel Hickman. I want to say it's Hickman. Yes, Rachel Hickman. So this is the cover. You can see the horses there. And it says, after losing her mother, Sass is sent to live with her uncle in England. Far from her native New York, the rocky shores and crumbling castles of Cornwall seem like the perfect place to hide her grief. And when she stumbles across a silver horse in a sunlit meadow, Sass feels a surprising sense of peace, only to have it broken by a boy with a secret. Those damn boys! Cornwall Castle, summer, sea, princes, horses, dogs, tea, promises, secrets, family, mistakes, wild places, heartbreak, first love, and fate are some key words for this book. It just seems a little... It's a children's book, I'm sure, and it just... I don't know why I picked it up. I was probably drawn in by the colours on the cover. But yeah, it seems like it gives me kind of like the Snow Spider kind of vibes. Do you remember that book? So yeah, so that is going to be my bomb book for the month, and my star book is going to be the next one in the Shadow March series. This is Shadow Rise by Tad Williams. It is book 3. The reason why this big book is actually my star book is because I have been really thoroughly enjoying this series, and it's an epic adventure. There's lots of characters all on their own separate journeys, but I feel like they're all coming towards one big final battle at the end, you know, kind of Lord of the Rings style, and I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. The best bit about it though is these books are available on Everand, previously known as Scribd, now named Everand, and I can listen to the audiobooks. And as I said, in July I really struggled to read, so if I can get an audiobook to listen to, that would be awesome. So yes, and I just really want to get these books finished before we potentially move. So yeah, we are hoping to move in the next few months. We're still waiting to bid on houses. It's a long process when you're renting rather than purchasing a house. So yeah, I want to get these read so I can unhaul them, because once I've read them, I don't intend to reread them. They're not that kind of book for me, but I have enjoyed the story. So yeah, and then I can unhaul, and I don't have to haul 4 big chunky hardback books with me when I move. So my goal is to get them finished before we move. So Shadow Rise is my Starbook for the month. So with all that said and done, let's get to gameplay and see what Bookgammon has in store for me this month. Okay, so here we have our board. Let's place the bomb token and the star token first. So placing the bomb token on space 19, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19. So it's right over here on this space in the last quarter, and the star token is on 16, so 12, 13, 16. So here we are. So they're very close to each other. Who knows, we may land on one yet. So let's give our prompts a shuffle. And let's roll for our first prompt. So 3 and a 6 equals 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we want an orange prompt. And the prompt for that is intimidating read. For roll number 2. Ooh, a 6 and a 5. So 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh, so close. So that's a blue prompt. And the prompt for that is the sequel of the last series I started. Okay, are we going to get home after 2 prompts? I don't know. Roll number 3. 4 and 2. Yes, we are going home. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're home. So only 2 prompts. Now when this happens, I do like to go around the board again. So we were here. Let's do the 6 moves going back around the board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got a yellow. And the prompt for that is recent purchase. Our 4th roll, a 1 and a 2, so that's 3. 1, 2, 3, so that's a blue prompt. And the prompt for that is top of the pile. This is something that I really want to read. Top of my to read list. Roll number 5. Ooh, it's 6 and 5 again, so that's 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We landed on the Starbook. Yes. So we got the Starbook to read this month. For roll number 6, it's a double 1, which means we have to go backwards just the 1. Remember, when we get a double, it's only the number on the dice, not the total of the dice. So we go back 1 space. So it's a blue. And the prompt for this is a mermaid book. There we go. For our 7th roll, 4 and a 2. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, we forgot to remove the bomb token. So let's take that off for now. So we have a pink prompt. And the prompt for that is a modern romance. So anything, I would say, written in the last 10, maybe 15 years. And our 8th roll, if we finish today, this will be our last roll. It's a double 4. No, not the time I wanted to pull out a double. So backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4 to a red prompt. And the prompt for this is pinch somebody else's TBR. So this means that I have to watch somebody else's TBR video or find out what somebody else is reading this month, and I have to read the same book. Okay, roll number 9. We went from just having 2 books on our list to possibly 9. 5 and 4, so that's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're home. Thank goodness for that. So a couple of doubles sent us backwards, which means we have 8 books on our TBR this month. But we did get that Starbook, so that is not an extra book on my TBR. So I am happy with all of that. So let's roll back to me telling you what books I'm going to choose for this month. So that was gameplay. Well, that went from 0 to 60 very quickly, didn't it? So our first time around the board only gave us 2 prompts. I thought, well, that's probably what I'm about reading this at this point. But I really don't want to just have 2 books on my TBR, because then I will only read 2 books. I use my Bookgammon TBR as kind of a smaller TBR pile than my whole bookshelves, because if I'm left to just pick off my bookshelves, I won't pick anything because I get too overwhelmed. I should probably have less books on my shelves, so try and get towards maybe, instead of 3 full bookshelves worth of books to read, I should maybe try and reduce that down, and that's what I'm going to try and do over the next year or 2, is reduce my book buying and just read what I have on my shelves, and then hopefully maybe have less of a conundrum when I'm coming to picking my books. But that's future me's problem. But so we went round a second time, so I ended up with 8 books on my TBR, but we did get the Starbook within there, so we don't have to flip a coin to see if I get my Starbook or my bomb book. We won the Starbook. So also good news was, when I was picking out my books, I realised I could put in my Waterstones book club pick for the month in as one of the prompts. So even better, I got to put my book club book in as one of the prompts, so that wasn't an extra book as well. So our roll number 1. Our first book was An Intimidating Read, and you might think I'm cheating at this point, but as I did say earlier, we are hoping to move in the near future. So I'm looking at my bookshelves thinking, what do I want to get finished so I can unhaul? And I have this sat on my bookshelves, A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon, and I have started it ages and ages ago, beginning of this year anyway, and I got that far through and then I just stopped. Now I'm probably going to need a recap to see what's been happening, but I am I'm on chapter 54, page 464 out of 846, so I'm about halfway, or just over halfway. So yeah, I want to get this finished, because I know that once I finish this, I can unhaul this and Priory of the Orange Tree, because I'm not going to reread them again in the future. So you could say that it's kind of cheating, because I only have half of the book to read, but I'm reading very slowly at the moment, so I need to cheat, all right? And the only person I'm cheating is myself, so I'm not hurting anybody by cheating. Our roll number 2 was a sequel of the last series started. Now I had to go back on my reading list of books that I've read recently, and the first series that I could find that I'm not already sort of on the way to finishing is this one. This is The Goal by L. Kennedy, which is from the Off-Campus series, and they're following sort of like these college kids and the males are all members of the ice hockey team. So and it's a love story. with ice hockey players. So this one is following Sabrina James and Tucker from the group. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what this one's about because it might give spoilers for the previous books, but yeah. Girl and ice hockey player. That's kind of all you really need to know about that series. For roll number 3, the prompt was recent purchase, and this is my book club pick because this was the last book I purchased because it was my Waterstones book club pick for the month. So this is The Square of Sevens by Laura Shepherd Robinson. I believe that our book club is meeting up around about the 3rd week of the month. So 2nd or 3rd week of the month, I'll have to confirm that. But this one is Red, the daughter of a fortune teller, makes a living with her father on the roads of Cornwall. Oh, another Cornwall book. Though not another one because we didn't get the one book. Predicting fortunes using an ancient method known as the Square of Sevens. But when her father dies suddenly and she becomes the ward of a gentleman scholar, Red is thrust into the Georgian splendour of Bath. Her fortune telling proves a delight to high society, but Red cannot ignore the questions that gnaw at her soul. Who was her mother? How did she die? And who are the mysterious enemies her father was always terrified would find them? The pursuit of these mysteries takes Red across the country, from the ribaldry of London's Bartholomew Fair to the grand houses of 2 of the most powerful families in England. And while her quest promises great reward, it also leads her into grave danger. So I believe this is historical fiction as well, because I believe we are it is sort of set in a historical time. I can't remember when, but you know, yeah, November 1730 basically, roundabouts. So yeah, it's a historical fantasy, I think. But yeah, so this is my book for that pick. For roll number 4, we got the prompt Top of the Pile. Now, I could have used my priority pick for this, but I actually decided that this other book was more higher on my priorities list. And that is All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. This is the sequel to All of Us Villains, which I have read. And this is, I think this is just a duology. And again, I'm thinking if I can get this one finished, I can unhaul them both before I move 2 less hardbacks for me to move. That's what you're going to hear from me a lot between now and us moving, which could be between now and the new year. So this one, the epic conclusion, yeah, so it's just a duology. So I believe that it was originally about group of kids who are all picked by their families to go into this sort of competition thing, where kind of like Hunger Games, where they all go in, there's like a dome over the area so they cannot escape and nobody can get in, and they basically have to kill each other. So it's basically the Hunger Games but with magic. So yes, I believe, if I remember rightly. I may have to do a recap on book 1 before I get into this, but I'm sure I can find that somewhere on the internet, so I don't have to reread the first book, because I really don't want to. But yes, so All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman for that one. For roll number 5, we got our Starbook. So I will be reading, I'm a little stiff in the shoulders today, Shadow Rise by Tad Williams. I'm so excited that I managed to get this. Very, very happy. I would have been reading this anyway in the month of August because I really, really do want to get these read and finished and unhauled. So yes, I am so glad that I was able to put this on my TBR and not having to add it as an extra book. Very, very happy. Roll 6 gave us a Mermaid book prompt, and for this one I have chosen The Savage Blue by Zoraida Cordova. Now, I really enjoyed Zoraida Cordova's recent books, but I believe that she wrote this series, this trilogy, before those other books that I've read. I can't remember what she's wrote, and it won't be in here because, as I say, she wrote these before the other books that I read. But this is based on a male mermaid, so so that's different. It's different, and basically, if I can remember rightly, it's about a boy called Tristan. Yeah, and it's him. I can't remember. I cannot remember. So the Savage Blue is the sequel to The Vicious Deep, and that one says, for Tristan Hart, everything changes with one crashing wave. He was gone for 3 days, sucked out to sea in a tidal wave and spit back ashore at Coney Island with no memory of what happened. Now his dreams are haunted by a terrifying silver mermaid with razor-sharp teeth. His best friend Layla is convinced something is wrong, but how can he explain he can sense emotion like never before? How can he explain he's heir to a kingdom he never knew existed? That he's suddenly a pawn in a battle as ancient as the gods? Something happened to him in those 3 days. He was claimed by the sea and now it wants him back. So yeah, if I remember rightly, he didn't know he was a mermaid, but now he does know he's a mermaid. So the story is going to continue. So that is that. There's a third book in this trilogy as well. It's a fluffy one. It's a very fluffy one. So I'm hoping I will get through it fairly quickly. So yes, there's that one. For role number 7, our prompt was modern romance, and I did say in the video, sort of published in the last 10 years, 10-15 years or so. I don't know when this one was published. When was it published? 2021. That'll do. So this is off my These 12 Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months list. A Second-Hand Husband by Claire Coleman. I have been picking these as my bomb books, but because I don't always get my bomb book every month, like this month I got my Starbook, I do still like to try and pick books from that list to try and read during the year, because the plan is to either read them or unhaul them by the end of the year, by December. And yeah, I'm hoping that I can either read this and unhaul it, or if I'm not enjoying it, I can DNF it and unhaul it fairly quickly. So we've got Carl has just bought their first home without telling Natalie where it is. Never mind showing her a picture, and Natalie is horrified to discover it's minutes away from his ex-wife Antonia. And to make matters worse, Antonia's palatial mansion has a fully functioning roof, unlike the ramshackle cottage that Carl has bought for them. Antonia's little wifehood's queen bee, mistress of the book club, and ladies who lunch. No matter how hard she tries, Natalie just doesn't fit in. And when Antonia insists on referring to Carl as our husband, Natalie's dreams of happily ever after take another nosedive. Second-hand furniture has much to recommend it. Second-hand clothes can be ever so chic, but second-hand husbands are proving to be a very bad idea indeed. Can Natalie escape the label of wife number 2, or is she destined to share her husband forever? Apparently, this is funny, fresh, and unexpectedly touching. We'll see about that. I hope it does have a real good sense of humour, because if it does, that will keep me reading. But if it's too cliche and too, I don't know, chic, I don't know. I'm apprehensive about this one. I will say I am apprehensive. That's why it's on my self-destruct list, because I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy it. But that is that one. And then last but not least, role number 8, I got the prompt, pinch somebody else's TBR list. So I did watch a couple of people's TBR lists, and I do have some of the books that they mentioned. However, as I've mentioned, we're hoping to move. And in preparation of wanting to move, and knowing that packing up my books is going to be the biggest job that we're going to have to do, I've already started packing them. So I tried to find the books that were on other people's TBR lists. Becca from Becca in the Books was reading The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, and was hoping to move on to the next book. So I thought, well, I've got The Way of Kings, I could maybe start that. But I couldn't find that. That was already packed. Jade from JD Ray Reads is reading The Final Strife by Sarah L. Arifi. I can't remember. I'll put it up on the screen. I do have that, but it's packed and I cannot find it. So I thought, what can I do? What can I do? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to pinch my own TBR from last month. Like, I need to, because I started this book and I do need to finish it. So this is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. I read you the synopsis last month. Fairies, knights, princes, true love, think you know how the story goes, think again. So I am only chapter 6 into the book, so page 58 out of 324. So I've still got quite a lot of it to go. So it's not cheating like it was with The Day of Fallen Night, I suppose. But, you know, needs must. When half of your books are packed up and the only books that are left on the shelves are the ones that you're unhauling anyway, I was stuck, and I've got real bad shoulders at the moment, so I can't be lifting heavy boxes to try and search through them. It's hurting my arms just holding these books up right now. That's why I'm leaning. So I pinched my own TBR from last month. It is what it is. Again, as I say, I'm only cheating myself, really, aren't I? So yeah, that is my TBR for the month of August. Normally I would hold them up to show you, but as I just said, my shoulders are in a lot of pain at the moment, so I am not going to pick up a pack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, 2 of them being over 500 pages. So that is my TBR. I can hear my husband in the background going, I'll pick them up. Not in that voice. His is more like, I will. But, yeah, no, we're going to leave it there. That is my TBR for the month of August. Let me know if you are joining in with Bookgammon this month. Let me know what your TBR is like. Are you cheating the system? Go ahead. You have my permission to cheat the system this month, because I certainly am with at least 2 of the prompts. So there is that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Hit the bell button so you'll be notified when I next post videos, because they're very randomly posted at the moment. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.